What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about the Bulgarian split squat. Now, you've heard me talk a lot before about the importance of unilateral loading. If you can't stand on one leg, don't try and squat on two. But the Bulgarian split squat is unique, especially if you load it appropriately for the stimulus of stability. So oftentimes stability gets clumped together, the other end of mobility, with strength. So strength and mobility are often seen as just counterpoints or equal counterpoints to mobility, where oftentimes that's not really the case, right? So strength is the ability to exert force. Strength is the ability to generate force, where stability is the capability of resisting force. So unilateral loading of a Bulgarian split squat is going to be a great exercise for introducing stability to that lumbo-pelvic complex. Okay, so before we get started loading the exercise, I'm going to go over the underpinning anatomy that we're trying to get after here. So the relationship between the glute med and the quadratus lumborum is going to help introduce that lateral stability within the lumbar spine and the pelvis. So the one side glute med is going to help keep our hips underneath us, and then the opposite side QL is going to help keep our lumbar spine upright, stabilizing against that unilateral load into that stance leg glute med. So whatever leg is forward, you're working that glute med and then the opposite QL. Okay, so the first thing we need to keep in mind when loading for stability is that we're loading not to increase resistance, rather to increase the perception of instability. So unilateral loading is going to be huge in making this whole thing work. If we have a dumbbell in each hand, the stability is sort of a wash. Now we're just adding resistance on the quad. So with that in mind, I'm just going to grab a light kettlebell. Again, it's not about resistance, it's about instability. So this is going to shift my center of gravity. Now from here, reach back with the leg, elevate, lumbar spine upright, but also neutral. So think points of the shoulders, points of the hips, keeping them in line as you descend down into that split squat and then back up. So the key here is to not allow the pelvis to shift and not allow the lumbar spine to shift. So if you keep those points in line, you're going to be isometrically contracting the glute med on the right, that stance leg, and then you're also going to be isometrically contracting the QL on the opposite side. The longer the time you can spend under tension, the more strength, but more importantly, the more endurance and the more stability you're going to introduce. This is a muscle you use a lot, and then when you put it under excess load, that's when you get injured. So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. We'll see you next time.